Hello everybody and welcome to the Cabinet meeting tonight. Before we start, can I say that the meeting is being recorded by the Council and will be uploaded to the Council's YouTube channel and website following the meeting. The Council also permits attendees to use audio and/or visual recording and photography at Council meetings. Proceedings of this meeting may also be reported via social media. If a member of the public wishes to film or record, could they please indicate now? Thank you. There is no planned test of the fire alarm system during this meeting. If the alarm sounds, please exit the building quickly and safely. Do not use the lifts. Please leave the building by the main route, which is the route that you entered by. If the main route is unavailable, please use the alternative route at the back of the room. Once outside the building, please make your way to the old marketplace at the front of the Town Hall. This is the emergency assembly point. Do not re-enter the building until the committee clerk, to my right, gives you permission. In the event of a security incident, delegates should remain inside of the secure area of the Town Hall unless unsafe or we are instructed to evacuate. If we are instructed to evacuate, we will be advised to disperse and move at least 400 metres away from the building or proceed to another specified BDC premises nearby. So if we can start by asking for apologies.
Thank you, Chair. Apologies from Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you. And then if we ask for declarations of interest by members or by officers. Thank you. The minutes of the meeting held on the 2nd and 9th of June are on pages 5 to 14. Are there any issues to be raised? No. So then if we move to the outstanding minutes list on pages 15 to 18, again, are there any issues to be raised? No. And then on pages 19 to 26 is the forward plan. Are there any issues that you'd like to raise? No, thank you. So then if we could now move to item 7A, the report of the Cabinet Member for Housing and Estates, the review of the housing repairs policy on page 27 to 92.
Thank you, Chair.
What we've normally done is we've asked for questions to be given to Cabinet beforehand. Councillor Schuler.
Thank you, Chair. This report asks Cabinet to recommend to Council the adoption and implementation of the revised housing repairs policy. The revised policy... apologies. Can you hear it now? Not much better. Are you able to hear it now? No?
We're just turning the system up. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it better soon.
Any better? It's the gentleman outside. Shall we...
Could I ask you to just wait outside if that's okay? Thank you.
Is that any better? Can you hear him now? Can you hear? Okay. Right, how's that? Okay. Well done. This report asks Cabinet to recommend to Council the adoption and implementation of the revised housing repairs policy. The revised policy at Appendix 1 follows a review of the housing repairs service and consultation with tenants, leaseholders and key stakeholders. The consultation ran from 20th of April to the 31st of May 2026 and received 591 responses. The feedback was largely positive, with over 73% of respondents raising no concern about the proposed responsibilities or revised timescales, and over 75% agreed that the proposed repair timescales are acceptable. The main issues raised through the consultation related to the proposed 30-day maximum timescale for non-urgent repairs, updated tenant repairing responsibilities and support for vulnerable tenants. In response, further promotional work will be undertaken before the policy is implemented, so that tenants are clear that non-urgent repairs will be completed within a maximum of 30 days by appointment, and that reasonable adjustments are available where additional support is needed. Subject to approval by full council on the 17th of September 2026, the revised policy is proposed to take effect from the 1st of October 2026. The recommendations are set out at 6.1 and 6.2, and I will just add my thanks to involved tenants who have undergone the tenant repair policy meetings throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Schuler. Mrs Craig, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, Chair, but very happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? No, I think this is universally welcomed, so thank you for that. Can we go straight to the recommendations, which are on page 31 at paragraph 6.1 and 6.2. All in favour? And that's carried. Thank you. So then if we can move to item 7B, the annual report to tenants. This is on page 93 to 110. Councillor Schuler.
Thank you, Chair. This report seeks Cabinet approval for the annual report to tenants 25-26 and to authorise its publication. Is that... Oh, sorry, the thing changed. Its publication on the Council's website and distribution to all tenants and leaseholders. The annual report at Appendix 1 is prepared in accordance with the requirements placed on social housing provider and sets out how the Council is performing against the Regulator of Social Housing's consumer standards. It provides tenants and leaseholders with information on on service performance, key achievements during 25-26 and the Council's planned service improvement for the forthcoming year. Publication of the annual report supports the Council's commitment to openness, transparency and accountability in the delivery of landlord services. The report will be made available in printed form, online, through tenant engagement activity and in alternative formats where required. Failure to approve and distribute the report would limit the Council's ability to demonstrate compliance with regulatory expectations and to ensure that performance information is communicated effectively to all tenants, including those who may be unable to attend meetings or access digital channels. The recommendations are at 6.1 and 6.2.
Thank you, Councillor Schuler. Mrs Craig, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, Chair, but very happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Councillor Scawthorne.
Yes, Chair. I'd just like to acknowledge all the work that has gone into this report by Alison or the housing team. I mean, you look through the report and you see some of the figures about all the work that's been done by the repairs and people, and all completed. I think it's within 93–94% of the time. I think it's a real standard, a real show of how our housing services are working. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Scotland. Any other comments or questions? I agree. A lot of work's gone into the report, and I know that even though the report's been written, work will continue with our tenants to make sure that we provide the best service that we can. The recommendations are on page 110, item 6.1 and 6.2. All in favour? That's carried. Thank you. So now if we move to item 7D on page 139, that's the Housing Services Neighbourhood and Tenancy Management Policy. Councillor Schuler.
Thank you, Chair. This report asks Cabinet to recommend to Council the adoption of the Housing Health and Safety Rating System, or the HHSRS Policy and Procedure for 26 to 29. The policy at Appendix 1 explains how the Council will identify, assess and deal with hazards in its housing stock and communal areas so that our homes remain safe, healthy and compliant with our legal responsibilities. It also helps the Council meet the requirements of the Housing Act 2004, the Social Housing Regulation Act 2023, the Regulator of Social Housing's Consumer Standards and the phased implementation of Awaab's Law. There are no direct financial, human resources, climate change or GDPR implications arising from this report. The recommendations are set out at 6.1 and 6.2. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Schuler. We're just discussing whether you're dealing with 7D or 7C. I think you're dealing with 7D, aren't you, at recommendation 6.1 and 6.2 at page 141? Yes, thank you, Councillor Schuler. So any questions? Sorry, Mrs Craig, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? No? Thank you. So if we move to the recommendations at 6.1 and 6.2 at page 141, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you. So, Councillor Schuler, can we move back to item 7C, the Housing Services Health and Safety Rating System? Sorry? That was? Okay, so the recommendations you read out were for the item D. So, at page 141, so that's item D. 6.1, 6.2. Okay. Okay, so can we go back then to item 7C, which is the Housing Services Health and Safety Rating System, which Councillor Schuler's just detailed, but the recommendations are on 6.1 and 6.2 at page 113. Yeah? All in favour? That's carried. Thank you. So then if we move to item 7D, the Housing Services Neighbourhood and Tenancy Management Policy, on pages 139 to 176. Councillor Schuler.
Thank you, Chair. This report asks Cabinet to recommend to Council the adoption of the Neighbourhood and Tenancy Management Policy. The policy at Appendix 1 builds on our existing policy framework and sets out how the Council will manage its housing stock, neighbourhoods and tenancies in a fair, consistent and transparent way. It supports our commitment to maintaining safe, clean and well-managed estates, while also helping tenants to sustain their tenancy and understand their responsibilities. It also reflects the requirement of the Social Housing Regulation Act 2023 and the Regulator of Social Housing's consumer standards. In practice, this means regular neighbourhood inspections, effective management of communal areas, work with partners to address antisocial behaviour and community safety issues, and continued consultation with tenants to identify local priorities. There are no direct financial, staffing, climate change or GDPR implications arising from this report. The main risk is that without adopting and publishing the policy, the Council could be at risk of non-compliance with the relevant consumer standards. The recommendations are at 6.1 and 6.2.
Thank you, Councillor Schuler. Mrs Craig, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? No, I agree that this policy is designed to make the difference that our tenants require in order to live in a safe and clean environment. So thank you for that. Can I ask, the recommendations are at 6.1 and only 6.1 on page 179. All in favour?
No, it's not 179, is it?
I'm sorry. The recommendations are at 6.1 and 6.2 on page 141. All in favour?
Thank you.
Thank you. And then, if we move to the last report of the evening for you, Councillor Schuler, item 7E, the Housing Services Household Data Strategy, which is on page 177 to 200. Thank you.
This report seeks Cabinet approval for the adoption and implementation of the Household Data Strategy 26 to 29. The strategy at Appendix 1 establishes the Council's proposed approach to strengthening the collection, management, quality and use of household data in order to improve understanding of tenants' circumstances, support the provision of safe and well-maintained homes and enable services to be targeted more effectively. The strategy supports the Council's wider transformation priorities and assists in demonstrating compliance with the Social Housing Regulation Act 2023 and the Regulator of Social Housing's consumer standards. In particular, it will support the Council's ability to understand tenants' needs, identify vulnerability, maintain accurate property condition information and use information to inform service planning and improvement. The report identifies no direct financial, human resources, climate change or environmental implications arising from the recommendation. The strategy will be delivered in accordance with GDPR requirements and an equality impact assessment is provided at Appendix 2. Failure to adopt the strategy would increase the risk that the Council is unable to evidence compliance with regulatory expectations relating to accurate housing and tenancy data, which may adversely affect service quality, decision-making and assurance. The recommendation is at 6.1 on page 179.
Thank you, Councillor Schuler. Mrs Craig, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, but very happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Councillor Slater.
Yeah, thank you. Oh. Can you hear me okay? So I just wanted to say, I think having good quality data is priceless, really, because if you don't have good quality data, you're kind of flying blind when you're delivering services, not just for our tenants, but for our residents. So I think this is a really good step in the right direction. As my colleague Councillor Schuler said, this is part of our transformation agenda where we're going to we need to get hold of good quality data to really effectively transform not just our services in housing, but across all services. And as a council, now that we've adopted artificial intelligence as well, having good quality data is crucial to ensure that we can use all these new digital technologies to deliver effective services for all residents going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Slater. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Sheila.
I understand what Councillor Slater's saying, and I do agree with him wholeheartedly. But at the heart of all of this is ensuring that we have good, safe housing for our tenants, and that we understand their needs and we can flex to meet their needs wherever we possibly can. And so, I am agreeing with you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? So the recommendations are on page 179 at 6.1, that the Cabinet approves the adoption of the Household Data Strategy. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So now we've averted a fire, can we move to 8A, which is the report of the Cabinet Member for Strategy and Communications, myself. And this is the Corporate Performance Management Framework on pages 201 to 246. I actually am very pleased to introduce this report because it sets out a refreshed corporate performance management framework for the Council. The framework is an important step forward in how we plan, monitor and improve our performance, ensuring that everything we do is clearly aligned to our Council plan and Vision 2040. It builds on the existing approach, but responds to the significant changes we've seen since 2023, including increased financial pressures, new regulatory requirements and the introduction of the Local Outcomes Framework. At its heart is a clearer, golden thread, linking our strategic priorities through to services, teams and individual objectives, so that everyone understands how their work contributes to delivering outcomes for our residents. The framework also strengthens how we use data and insight, supports better decision-making and ensures stronger links between performance, finance and our programme of change. Importantly, it shifts our focus further towards outcomes and impact, helping us to improve accountability, transparency and ultimately the quality of services we provide to local people. The report recommends that Cabinet approves the refreshed framework and supports its phased implementation across the Council. Mr Gadsby, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, Chair, but happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this item? Councillor Slater.
Again, I just want to really pay tribute to the work that particularly Richard and his team have really put into this. This is a really good plan in terms of how we measure success. We've got a very ambitious vision for Bassett Law, and also as we head into the unitary authority, we want to make sure that we're delivering the best possible services for all our residents. And I think this is a really good plan in how we measure what successful public services look like. So I just wanted to congratulate him and his team on, I think, a really well-written document. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Slater. I agree with every word. I think good data and the engagement of all our staff makes a real difference, and we are very quickly moving towards unitarisation, so we need to make sure that we are the best so that we take that forward into the new unitary council. So thank you for that, Mr Gadsby. If we look at the recommendations at page 207, items 8.1 to 8.4, all in favour? And that's carried. Thank you. So if we now move to item 9A, which is the report of the Cabinet Member for Identity Planning and Place. This is the Building Control Building Safety Regulation Inspection on pages 247 to 274. Councillor Scawthorne.
Thank you, Chair. Members, this report presents the outcome of the Building Safety Regulator Inspection of our building control services undertaken between July 25 and April 26. The inspection assists our compliance with the new National Operational Standards introduced following the Building Safety Act 2022. These reforms were brought in to strengthen the outside and accountability across the sector after Grenfell. The Council received a formal contravention letter in April 26. Importantly, this is the second most favourable outcome available and reflects on a strong foundation already in place within the service. The Inspector highlighted several notable strengths, including effective leadership, a positive organisational culture, a high level of professional competence across the team. The inspection also identified a number of opportunities to further strengthen the service and support continuous improvements. These were focused on three key areas: governance, enhancing our risk-based service planning development, the risk register further, and formalising performance manager arrangements through strengthening KPIs and assurance processes. People and capacity, building on the strengths of the team throughout the induction of a formal workforce plan, enhanced training and competency manager arrangements, and continuing focus on attracting and developing skilled professionals. Operational, strengthening record keeping and audit processes while implementing improvements to the management of revision cases through clear procedures and enhanced oversight. A comprehensive action plan has been developed to address all recommendations. Most actions are scheduled for the completion on the 17th of July, i.e. Friday this week, with further long-term plan improvements activities continuing through to October 26. Officers have already made excellent progress with robust senior management oversight supporting delivery. We are well positioned to complete all actions within the agreed timescale and to embed those enhancements into day-to-day operations. The benefits of this programme are significant, helping to strengthen public safety, enhance service resilience, support continuous improvement and ensure that the Council continues to meet its statutory responsibilities effectively. The associated costs are being managed within existing budgets. The recommendations are set out on 6.1 to 6.2 of the report. Chair, failure to act would risk further regulatory interventions, so timely delivery of the plan is critical and is fully on track. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Scotthorne. Mr Taylor, do you have anything to add?
Happy to answer any questions that come up.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? I'd just like to say that this inspection is against a national background of insufficient building control staff across the whole of the country. We have secured some excellent staff in that section very recently, and whilst there clearly are areas where we need to improve, I want to repeat what the Inspector said, which was that the Council's building control team were performing many aspects of its work to a high standard and highlighted several strengths, including strong leadership, a positive culture, innovative solutions and systems, and high levels of professional competence, which is excellent to hear. Despite how well we are doing in some areas, obviously we'll continue to grow and develop and address the areas where we need to. So if I could thank the team for that, I would appreciate it. So the recommendations are on page 251, 6.1 and 6.2. All in favour? And that's carried. Thank you. So if we now move to item 10A, the report of the Cabinet Member for Business and Skills. This is the East Midlands Investment Zone, or EMIS, and it's a strategic update. Councillor Adams.
Thank you, Chair. East Midlands Investment Zone strategic update. I'm pleased to present this strategic update, which sets out the significant opportunity that the East Midlands Investment Zone, EMIS, presents for Bassetlaw. EMIS is a government-backed programme delivered through the East Midlands Combined Authority, EMCA, with up to £160 million of funding over 10 years to support productivity, innovation, private sector investment and long-term economic growth across the region. EMIDS supports the delivery of Bassettlaw's Vision 2040 priorities, including a strong and resilient economy, sustainable and low-carbon growth, improved skills and productivity, and high-quality places and infrastructure. For Bassettlaw, this is a very positive development. The designation of Explore Park in Worksop as one of the investment zone sites places the district in a strong position to attract inward investment, support advanced manufacturing, modern methods of construction, low-carbon technologies, and secure long-term business growth. The report highlights how this opportunity sits alongside the nationally significant STEP fusion energy programme at West Burton and the wider Trent supercluster, including High Marnham and Cottam, all former coal power station sites. Together, these create a powerful platform for clean energy, advanced engineering, skills development and supply chain growth, placing Bassettlaw at the heart of a major economic transformation opportunity. Importantly, the programme is now moving from development into delivery. The EMCA annual delivery plan for EMIS confirms a clear focus on progressing investment-ready projects, site readiness, business cases, innovation activity and skills programmes. Bassettlaw has already benefited from the early EMIS sprint funding linked to STEP and the Trent supercluster, helping to access future skills needs and prepare local residents and providers for emerging opportunities. This report is, therefore, about recognising the progress made and the strength of Bassettlaw's position and the need to maintain close alignment with regional partners so that we maximise the benefits of our communities, businesses and future workforce. I welcome the report and recommend that Cabinet notes the current position, the role of Explore Park as a designated investment zone site and the wider opportunity for Bassettlaw to secure investment, jobs and long-term economic growth through the East Midlands Investment Zone. Concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Mr Taylor, do you have anything to add?
Again, happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions or comments, colleagues? Councillor Scawthorne.
Chair, this is an exciting report. As councillors, it's very important that we are both honest and positive when speaking about Bassettlaw. Residents, businesses and partners expect a balanced view that acknowledges challenges while recognising significant achievements and opportunities within the district. Bassettlaw has a strong track record of delivering growth through collaborative working and positive partnerships. The success of Explorer Park and our inclusion in the East Midlands Investment Zone demonstrates the confidence that government, investors and industry have within our district. These achievements have not happened by chance. They are a result of long-term planning, investment and partnership working. Being positive about Bassettlaw helps attract further investment, create jobs, support local businesses and strengthens our communities. At the same time, it's being truthful about risk and challenges, ensuring we remain credible and focused on continuous improvements. Our roles as councillors is to champion Bassettlaw, celebrate its success and ensure that opportunities such as the East Midlands Investment Zone deliver real benefits for local people and places. By telling Bassetlaw's story with honesty, ambition and pride, we can help build confidence in the future of our district and secure lasting prosperity for our residents. Chair, I'd like to acknowledge you, Councillor Charles, the senior management and everybody at Bassetlaw that have worked tirelessly with EMCA, with the East Midlands Investment Zone and everybody else to bring this to Bassetlaw. This is a massive opportunity for Bassetlaw yet again.
Thank you, Councillor Scothan. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Richardson.
Thank you, Chair. I do welcome the East Midlands Investment Zone and I look forward to working with colleagues on this opportunity. However, there's always a however with me on these issues. I think the risks and opportunities need to be balanced against what the cumulative impact is going to be on some of our rural areas, and I'm in the community and I'm ever conscious of that. I would much rather this was located in our area than any other area of the country. So I do welcome it, but I do have some concerns which I'll discuss at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Richardson. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Adams.
Thank you, Councillor Richardson. Yeah, I know we've had some discussions about this, and it's one of the main reasons why we're revisiting the Bassetlaw plan, strategic plan. You know, there is an impact on roads and transport and infrastructure, and that also is being studied by EMCA as well. So thank you for your comments.
Thank you. Mr Taylor.
Just to reassure you, the East Midlands Investment Zone funding has eligibility for infrastructure improvements as well. So the earlier stages has been looking at the feasibility and what the impact of these major developments will cause infrastructure-wise. But this £160 million can actually go part way, and it's not going to go all the way, but it can go part of the way to part fund the infrastructure developments themselves as well.
Thank you. Any other questions and comments? No? Thank you. I would like to add something, because I'm aware of the massive amount of funding that Bassetlaw has secured, both from national government and from EMCA, to help bring this to Bassetlaw. EMIS forms a central component of the East Midlands Economic Growth Strategy, and it's aimed at attracting private investment, supporting high-value sectors and increasing productivity across Bassetlaw and other areas, but particularly across Bassetlaw. There is no doubt that this will create well-paid, high-achieving work for our residents and especially for our young people. And this will inevitably impact on everyone in Bassetlaw and will increase affluence and growth and make this a much more affluent, better place to live. So I would also like to thank everybody, including officers and members, who've really worked hard to make this the case. And it will impact on our children and our grandchildren particularly. So the recommendations are on page 279, and it's just one recommendation. All in favour? And that's carried unanimously. Thank you. So if we then move to referrals, item 11, there are none. If we move to the reporting minutes, item 12A, Health and Safety Committee from the 15th of April. This is just for noting. Any comments or queries? And if we move to 12A, the Joint Employee Council, again on page 285, this is just for noting. Any comments or queries? No. And then if we move to section B, which are items for discussion in private, there are none, and there is no other business which I consider to be urgent. So it just leaves me to thank you all for coming tonight. And if any of the members of the public at the back wants to come and have a chat, please come down. The meeting's ended. Thank you.